Well, that'll take us on to Smallville.
I suppose we should.
Season 1, episode 17, it's called Reaper. And I don't want to lie, I didn't remember a thing about this episode.
Did you not?
No, I don't remember this at all. And I'm sure I've seen it, because I don't skip episodes when I watch things. So I know I watched it, but...
Yeah, no, I remembered it. Or at least parts of it.
So, honestly, the thing that stood out to me about this one the most is Whitney's getting a new haircut. And I feel like he's went through like 4 haircuts since the start of this season, which I thought was just odd.
Yeah. I mean, people get haircuts every few months, right?
They do, but I feel like in TV shows they like to keep consistent throughout a season. Or they'll have maybe one big change and they'll mention it, but they deliberately try and keep it consistent for a reason. And it's especially notable because typically guys with short hair, there's only so much you can do with the short hair, but somehow they've found a way to make his hair look completely different. Like
I think I appreciate that in some ways, because there are definitely guys I went to school with who every 3 months would just have, you got a haircut and it looks completely different. It feels kind of real in that sense.
Yeah, okay. I'm looking at it more from this is a TV show and I'm watching it. This is weird. Why is his hair changing? Kind of way.
I know. I think it was supposed to be like, hey, people do this. Maybe we should not just change it once a year like TV shows, because then it feels like a TV show.
Yeah. Okay. We can go with that. But anyway, so his dad is dying. He's on his last, he's on his deathbed. And that's relevant to the episode because our villain character is a son who, when he visits his dying mother, who requests that he kill her. She wants to be euthanized, and with a pillow no less. Just, smother with a pillow, son. And he does it for her. He gets caught, then there's a bit of a kerfuffle, there's an explosion, and he should be dead, but of course he was wearing some kryptonite and his like necklace or his chain or whatever on his wrist.
Yeah.
And it goes into his body, and he becomes a walking reaper where anything he touches will die and just wither away. What got me was that later on in the episode, it turns out that even himself, like, he just puts his hands together and it kills him. And I'm like, how's he been, like, functioning?
Yeah.
For the last several months?
He hasn't. He's been dead. He doesn't need to eat. He doesn't have any bodily functions to take care of. He always wears gloves.
He always wears gloves, but he would be smelling rape if he's not showering. How is he cleaning himself?
I mean, I don't have the answer to that. I can't help you on that one in particular.
Nonsense. Absolute nonsense.
Maybe like a brief touch just kind of takes off the top layer of shite. I don't know.
Oh my god, he's such an uninteresting villain. Obviously, there's an old lady in Smallville who's dying. And
do you know what the worst part is? I feel like I want to applaud the effort of being a bit more subtle and, tackling the topic, right?
I think the problem is that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Clark and Martha volunteer for this thing where they go and visit old people, and I'm like, where's this been all season?
Yeah, it makes it sound like Martha always does it.
Yeah.
Because, this is the new driver, right?
Yes.
Clark, I think, maybe sometimes goes along by the sounds of it.
But they go to this old woman and she's dying, and she kind of is, the guy's nice to her and she's in a bit of pain, and he comes back later that night and kills her. Turns out to dust. So it's almost like the dusting effect from Buffy the Vampire, so the hit television show, you might say. I
was waiting for that. As soon as I saw that effect, I knew that was coming.
But that's kind of what it looks like, actually.
It does look like that, yeah.
And obviously they look into it, and Chloe's convinced that's just suspicious. This is spontaneous combustion. There's something weird going on here, and she goes digging into it as she does.
I want to question why that's suspicious. If she's like, nah, it can happen, then it happened. Get over it. There's no cause. It just happened, right? That's the whole point.
Yeah, it's like she wants to prove that's what it was, though. She's not looking for a culprit necessarily.
Yeah, okay.
She just wants people to believe her that this was spontaneous combustion.
Sure.
And turns out it's not, though. And Martha sees him, kill a flower, and then he touches Clark. But of course, Clark can fight it. He gets hurt, but he can resist it. Yeah. And then later he just convinced, because it turns out the guy's mum actually survived, and she didn't even do his job properly. She's alive, and he goes to see her, and then he's convinced by Clark that this was all wrong and that he's just an agent of death, so he kills himself. And that's basically the main plot. Honestly, this is quite a dull episode. I feel like I need to criticize the last couple of episodes for being kind of dull to make fun of, because they're not good. They're pretty mediocre and bad and very on the nose, but they're not having the laugh out loud, this is ridiculous bullshit territory that a lot of the early season had.
No, it's true. Like I said, I want to applaud the effort of trying to tackle a topic like this, right? Because it's something that they should be doing. If assuming you're a good show and you're going, hey, we want to tackle this thing, yeah, why not?
Yeah,
it's just it leads to it doesn't quite land, because it's really like by the end really one-sided. Just no, of course this is the right answer, right?
I feel the problem with this topic though is it feels really shoehorned in a show about teenagers.
Yeah, that's fair.
It feels like we're doing this topic, whereas at least in Supergirl, when they tackle various social issues, they all feel like things that are relevant to the adults in the show, just naturally, right? Whereas this, it feels like all of a sudden we're going to show in some old people in just so that we can do some.
No, I agree. I think in the effort to make it relevant, they tried to tie it to Whitney's dad, but we don't care about Whitney's dad because we've seen him like twice.
Yeah, we don't care. No. So we're supposed to care at the end because Whitney tells Clark at one point. Because notice how Whitney's not even like jealous or worried about Clark anymore. He's just like, "Oh, Lana sent you," and that's just it. Like he's not like he's forgotten. Which I kind of like, because it makes sense. If he's worried about his studies and he's worried about his dad, he would stop being a dickhead.
Right?
Yeah, he stopped being immature because he's kind of been forced out of it almost.
Yeah, and also on the topic of they tied it into Whitney's dad.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's been ongoing, unlike just the the delivery service thing, right? That has been a topic for a while now. That his dad's been in.
That's fair. I just don't care about his dad.
No.
But because he mentions to Clark that his dad also had a dream of seeing him plays first pitch, or not pitch. It's not a pitch in football.
It's not a pitch, no.
Pitch is baseball. These first. What do you call it when they all line up in football like that and they do their play?
I don't know.
Well, they hold the ball between their legs like an idiot and then pass it behind them for some reason.
It's not run. It's not throw. Play?
First play, I guess, yeah. First play, yes. Maybe score his first touchdown, I don't know.
Do they have touchdowns in American football?
Of course they have touchdowns.
I don't know.
That's the one thing I know about American football, is they have touchdowns.
Alright, okay. I know nothing about American football, clearly.
If anything, that's why I associate the word touchdown with. What, do they do touchdowns in rugby? Is that a thing?
No.
No?
It's one of those words that I don't really care about where it's from. Like, is that sport?
Seriously, why do you bend over and pass the ball through your legs? This just feels like a joke. Feels like, I don't know. Anyway,
I mean, they do it a bit in rugby too, so I can't really argue, right?
Well, yeah, rugby's equally stupid though, so it's fine.
At least rugby doesn't stop every 10 seconds. I mean, it's not bad. I'm not really saying it's a good sport. I don't really care. I'm just saying that I don't understand how you can watch American football when it stops so much.
When I think both sports are as boring as this, it's actually a benefit because at least the sport stops and I can watch the ads instead, which are better. Anyway,
but it doesn't stop and watch the ads. You still got to wait. You just got to wait longer for the ads.
Well, it's an out then. It's a time to say, you know what, this isn't for me. I can leave. It's an actual stopping point. Anyway. So he's to play his first play with the.
Still doesn't sound right.
The Metropolis team, whatever they're called, the Hawks, the Sharks. Was it the Sharks? And so Lex, because Lionel owns the team, gets the actual team to come to the Smallville High's football field, and gets them to play a fake game with Whitney, so his dad can watch it. This is like, do you know how much these players get paid? I mean, I know it's not a real team, but assuming it's a real team in the main leagues.
I mean, they got to do a training session anyway, though, right?
That's true.
Just throw him in a training session. Problem solved.
You're going to coach to Smallville, to the middle of nowhere, so that some teenager can play with you.
Yeah, I mean, it felt like they were in a stadium, right? So maybe they went up to Metropolis.
His first pass. Throw his first pass with the Sharks. Was it pass? I think it was pass.
Was that it? I'm honestly, Wikipedia is not that helpful because I think it just assumes I know whatever I'm. What a quarterback calls the plays, and then throws it or runs with it. So yeah, so I mean, it's a play, but maybe it was the pass specifically.
Yes.
I don't know. Clearly, football is beyond me.
Yes. Aye.
This is as bad as the sporting discussion last week, isn't it?
Was that last week?
I think so. With the dude at the start, whose name I've obviously forgotten.
Does it start?
Mo.
Mo?
Because with the basketball thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't find this thing on football. Clearly, American football is not my sport.
It doesn't matter. Nothing's my sport. It's fine. Well, I mean, I could enjoy playing golf. I think I'm gonna watch it. I mean, watching it's boring as shit. But
Yeah, I couldn't watch golf.
any sport, hitting a ball with a club, I could do that.
I think the precision of it bores me. I can do a driving range. Just smack it as hard as you can. I can see the appeal in that.
Mm-hmm.
Once I have to be like, okay, I've got to hit it at that hole. I'm like, okay, I'm bored now.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I forgot where we were because you went.
I don't know. Was there really anything left to say?
We didn't have to find out what the football term was. You just insisted on looking it up.
I thought it'd be easier to find than that. I thought it would be basics in the first paragraph of Wikipedia.
No.
But apparently it's so basic they don't even tell me.
So, yeah, there's a subplot with Lionel, and he sent a guy to investigate Lex, and because the money's looking funny, and it ends up leading to Jonathan, and Jonathan finds out that Lex was investigating Clark after the bridge accident.
And he tells Clark, and Clark's like, "Oh yeah, I know, but it's fine. Clark's promised that's behind us."
Yeah, Lex was upfront about it. Well, not upfront.
And John's like, wait. You knew about this and didn't tell me.
He was honest about it later on. Which, whatever, fine. And obviously just plays into the fact that they have a bit of a fight because Clark doesn't want to go fishing anymore, but it breaks his heart because Jonathan loves going fishing with his boy, and then this adds fuel to the fire, and then they have this big falling out, and they make up by the end of the episode. And obviously it ties into the themes of Whitney and his dad, like, and having time with your father, and blah, blah, blah. I
think the only part of this I thought was reasonably realistic and kind of gave me a chuckle was when Martha comes to class, like, when you go talk to him, he's like, "Nah, it's fine. I'll blow over in a couple of weeks. We'll be silent, and then some small talk, and then it'll be fine. Nothing ever happened." Like, yeah, that sounds pretty real.
Yeah, that's how people actually get over these things. Yes.
Yeah.
That does sound real. I mean, it's fine what they're doing here. Like, yeah, we have them falling out. I guess it rings a bit false to me because I think Jonathan's hatred and mistrust of the Luthers feels so one note at this point because he's just always, it's a Luther, I can't trust him.
Yeah.
That it's hard to take it that seriously anymore, and hard to kind of treat it as if because Lex has at least done his best to try and appear to be friend. I mean, I would question maybe why he's so determined to be a friend of your teenage son, and why he's constantly coming around and helping with things. But
I guess saving your life does that, right?
I guess it does. But other than that, though, I mean, Lex has done his best.
He's been quite an upstanding gentleman for the most part.
Yeah, he's done his best. And Lex outwits his father and puts the guy in a trunk, and is like, Lionel, stay away from me.
As you do.
Yeah.
That said, we haven't spoken about the worst scene of the episode yet.
What's the worst scene of the episode?
Whitney and Lana at the graves.
Oh, that's right. He's like, you've never come out here before, Whitney, to look at my dead parents. Like, that's because I didn't like thinking about my parents dying. It made me depressed, and I hated it.
Yeah.
So
Clark had no problem coming out here.
No. I just love though. I didn't want to deal with your dead parents because it made me think about my parents dying. I didn't like that.
So selfish. I love how he just says that out loud.
You're so depressing, Lana. Always talk about your dead parents.
To be fair, the first half of season it was dead parents.
I know she would never shut up about her dead parents. To the point where I almost wish they came back to life so I could watch them die again in front of her.
At least we get some satisfaction out of it then, right?
Yeah.
It's like now talk about your dead parents.
I was like, can I just say at the end of the episode when they're sitting on the bleachers and they're Clark and Lana are together watching Whitney play and his dad's down there watching him play. why Jonathan shows up to be in this scene, I don't know. I mean, he obviously comes over and he talks to Lex about everything, and they kind of settle their differences a little bit. But
I'm sure until next episode.
Until next time, yeah. Until next time, Jonathan gets a whiff that Lex is up to no good. But they kind of come to understand, and he's like, a miracle happened. I want to investigate it. He's like, well, I just accept miracles happen. And they just kind of agree. He's like, oh, this is a nice thing you did for Whitney. Okay, fair enough. Anyway, but so Clark and Lana are sitting together, and Lana says, you asked Lex to do this, didn't you? It's like, yeah, well, being friends with Lex is kind of weird, but it has its upsides. And she kisses him on the cheek, and he's like, what's that for? I was like, just being you. And she gives him this little smirk, and she walks off all giggly. And all I can feel like, this is weird. Like, he helped her current boyfriend, like, give this present to his father by getting, like, his billionaire friend to get this football team to come and play in front of him. And that is somehow working for him to woo over the girlfriend of the guy that he did this for. This is so weird and convoluted. I
think all this tells us is Lex was right. Yeah, all the times Lex has gone, it's just a boyfriend. You can get around that, right? and he's gone, just throw some money at it. That'll do the problem. Here's a limo. Here's some concert tickets. Here's a football team. Clearly, it's working.
And all I could think was, Lana, this feels very flirty. You're clearly sending some message, like doing the kiss and saying, "Oh, that's just for being you." Like that feels like it's got some implications there. Like there's feelings brewing, and
it does, yeah.
It's like, "Oh, I'll kiss you in the cheek. That's just for being you." I'm gonna go sit down there with my boyfriend now. I'll be back. Oh dear. Smallville's teen romance drama never fails to befuddle me.
It's so bad. To be fair, not a ton of awful cheesy 2000 songs in this one.
No, not a ton.
They didn't stick out as egregiously bad anyway.
And still a better love story than Twilight.
Yeah, still applicable.
It's applicable for now. I don't know if it's applicable later seasons.
Yeah, we'll have to pick a moment where that stops being true.
Yeah. Not that I've ever sat through Twilight, admittedly. Oh, there's a Patreon goal.
Oh, there is a Patreon goal. I've seen it, so I know what I'm getting for.
Oh, I've not seen any of them. I've
been dragged to the first, 2, maybe 3? I don't know.
It could be like, like they have a bowl goal. It's like, once we hit a certain amount, we'll do Twilight. Then another 100, we'll do another Twilight.
I've definitely seen 2 of them. Maybe a third. Definitely not 4 or 5. Which is a shame, because I'm pretty sure Anna Kendrick's in the last couple.
Not worth it.
No, it's not. That's how much it's not worth it. And I watched a lot of shit with Anna Kendrick in.
Mm-hmm.
But not watching those. Not unless you force me into it.
Oh, that's a goal if ever. Why was this not a goal? Why was watching Smallville not a goal?
I don't know.
Why did we just agree to this?
We've got to show them what it's like when we're in pain, so they know that they want to pay for more of it. We're going to give them the sample up front first.
I hate it so much.
Yeah, me too.